What's going on, everyone? It's Matt Deeks here with another video. It's been a while, guys. Nothing really new has been coming out, but today we got the Siege mode update. I will be playing that later on, and I will be releasing a video, my first try, my first looks at it, kind of a deep dive on everything Siege mode. But with that said, this video is about the assault build, all right? So the assault class. I've been getting a lot of feedback and quite a few comments from people asking, hey, can you do the assault class? Can you do the bulwark, the sniper, vanguard, attack, all these different classes? If you haven't seen already, I released a tactical, I released a vanguard, and now this one here, I'm going to be releasing a assault. Okay, guys? So with that being said, in my opinion, guys, this is a build. I'll be honest, I used to completely overlook. A lot of people sleep on the assault class, and for the longest time, I was one of them. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was a trash class, and I was avoiding leveling it up because I just didn't want to play it. But as I leveled it up and mastered its abilities, I came to actually really like it, and I came to realize what it truly is. And you're really just a tank on the battlefield. I call it the clear. Okay, so you're there to clear the battlefield for your buddies, your squad mates, your other space marines. Okay, the assault class is meant to dive into the fray, to launch itself into massive groups of enemies and just pound the ground with Emperor's Fury, all right? I know it sounds dirty, but pound that ground with the Emperor's Fury. So if you see a pack of Minoris and some Majoris there, little Tyranids, you're running, you're dashing, you're leaving your buddies behind, you're getting up in the air, and you're slamming that ground. All right, guys? You are there to clear the battlefield, okay? Its role is to sweep away clusters of foes with massive hammer swings and to carve a path for the rest of the squad, okay, guys? So that, again, a lot of it is going to be my opinion. A lot of people play their own classes or play their classes their own way, and I totally respect that, and that's what I love about this game. You can customize so many different things, weapons, range weapons, melee weapons, your perk tree can be all different, and I love that. That's what I love about this game, okay? So basically, you're the spearhead, the one making sure that as many enemies as possible fall before you, okay? Because that's what the assault class was designed to do, again, in my opinion. Now, in this build, I've put together, you're going to see some controversial weapon and perk choices that might make you raise an eyebrow, but stick with me. At least this is how these perks and my weapon choices are based around the way I play. And if you haven't seen my tactical and vanguard build, I prefer a more in and out kind of dash in, dash out. I like to be very mobile. I like to really utilize the roll and the dash and parry and dodge. I really like to utilize those. So I use a lot of burst style weapons. So for example, I use the Melta rifle, I use the Inferno pistol, sometimes I'll use the plasma pistol. Okay, so those are the type of weapons I'm using. I'm not really using bolt style weapons. That's not my thing. I find that, at least for me personally, I die often because I find myself just sitting there, and then I can't really, get a shot off. And when I do get a shot off, I can't sustain the shot, and I'm really just localizing on one enemy, and then when it comes time to, because I'm playing on absolute, so I'm getting bombarded by all angles. So I can't really just stand there and spray and pray, right? I gotta be mobile, so I can barely get shots off. At least with the Melta or the Inferno pistol, you're able to pop a few shots off, roll, dodge. As soon as you're done that roll, as soon as you come out of that dodge or roll animation, boom, you can pop another shot off. And you can actually do damage with that shot instead of, one or two bullets from, let's say, a standard bolt rifle, right? Whether it's a heavy bolt pistol or a carbine, whatever it might be. All right. So, with that being said, guys, I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna get into it. Okay. And look, if you let me know in the comments below if you agree with this, and if not, totally get it. But this is my assault class. Let's get started, guys. Okay, so I'm going to start with the perks. Okay, guys. So with the perks, my main gripe with the assault class is their signature perk tree is just trash. Okay, but we're going to get to that in a second. All right, we're going to get to that in a second. Let's start all the way at the beginning here, and I'm going to go into detail on why I chose what and kind of how it relates with my weapon choices, which we'll get into later, okay? So for core, my first core, I am using Armour reinforcements. This one here, guys, is why in the thumbnail I put unlimited armor. Every time you perform a gun strike, whether it's a finisher or a non-finisher, well, you get it for a finisher anyways, but for a non-finisher, you now get an armor segment. Okay, so just like you get it for a finisher, you now get it for a non-finisher. So you basically have unlimited armor. If you can really parry those attacks, which I'll get into later, but you need a fencing weapon for that. But we'll get into that later when we talk about the weapons. But guys, armor reinforcement is nuts. Unlimited armor, basically, especially if you're on absolute or even lethal, or especially now with siege mode, you're basically going to be full of armor all the time. Very rarely, unless you don't use a fencing weapon or haven't mastered, blocking and parrying and all that, very rarely will you find yourself lacking armor, okay? Second core perk, guys, so I have Auxiliary Arsenal. So again, just a blanket overall increase in damage. Again, my opinion as of the assault, you're supposed to get into the fray, you're supposed to get into the action, clear as much enemies as you can for your specialty units, like, the sniper, the vanguard, whatever, right? So your job is max damage, max chaos, all right? So I'm going to take that armor boost or that weapon damage boost any day. 20% is noticeable. I didn't like Retribution, guys, just because there's a similar perk in the Prestige perks, which we'll get into later. And this one's good too. Again, nothing I say is set in stone. I'm always going to give you like a secondary option that's also really good. So if you don't want the first one there, Auxiliary Arsenal, this is also another very good one. Consecutive execution. So basically killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores your equipment charge, so your grenade. So also very good, but for me, I rather get that weapon damage boost, okay? Third core perk, oh my goodness. Third core perk is Knowledge of the Enemy. Now this I'm pairing with this guy right here, okay, but we're gonna get into that in a second. So Knowledge of the Enemy. Melee damage increased by 15% against Majoris and Extremis, okay? If you also add in this one here, okay, in your team perk, Strategic Strikes, all squad members deal 20% more melee against Extremis and Terminus. So now you have 20% here against Extremis. So you're getting a double Extremis. 20% and 15. So you're at 35% increase right there, okay? Which is huge. It's a huge deal. This is also very good. All squad members' ability recharge 10% faster, but you're going to see later, we don't really need that because we're also, we have another perk that recharges the abilities 20%. So I would save that and get the extra damage. Okay, guys, first gear perk, I have this one right here, guys, Precision Strike. Ground pound deals 100% more damage, but its radius is reduced by 50%. That's totally fine, guys. I wouldn't worry too much about the radius. You really want to be hitting those shots anyways. Don't try to aim anywhere else but at the enemy. So 100% damage for less radius, I'll take that any day. Again, this one just didn't seem, I'm not going to go into everything, but this wasn't anything for me. Ground pound damage increased by 10%. Why not take 100%? Why not take 100% for just a little bit less radius? Okay, guys. Second gear perk, So, as you're going to see, I'm not going to choose anything that is affected by jump pack dash. It's a garbage move. I never jump pack dash, and if I do, it's by air. So I'm not going to use any perks that will benefit that. Again, just my opinion, guys. Jump pack recharges 20% faster, so I use this one, maneuverability. Really, really good. So that's why I didn't choose this one, guys. I chose this one instead. 30% would be good, but that 10%, you're really not going to notice that much of a difference. So I'll take that 20% and then the increased damage over here. Okay, guys. And then right here, guys, for the last gear perk, I have after a finisher, ground pound deals 25% more damage. Just a standard perk, nothing crazy here. This one's good too. Diligence, a fully prepared ground pound deals 20% more damage. However, very rarely, at least in absolute, can you actually take the time to charge up a ground pound. Okay, guys. So for me, it really wasn't ideal. So I didn't choose that one. And then this one here, perfectly timed dodge using a jump pack dash. As soon as I see jump pack dash, guys, I'm gone. I'm on to the next one. All right, signature, guys. Now this one, they're really not that good. They should be a lot better. The Vanguard class has a perk called Emperor's Blessing. Basically gives you a second life. Really cool perk, but Assault doesn't really have any good signature perks, so I cycle between this one and this one here. Right now I'm using ample ammunition. Any use of jump pack reloads the equipped range weapon and increases its damage by 50%. So I'm basically using it not for the reload. I'm using it for the 50% increase in damage. So really, really good to have. Again, your main priority, guys, as the assault is to cause as much damage and havoc and death as possible to the enemies. Ascension, jump pack leaps deal damage to all enemies in the takeoff area. This one I like, but I don't like. The reason I don't like this one, let me explain, and I can probably overlay a video here, but a lot of my dashes are done or a lot of my jump pack use are initiated outside of enemy area. So you can see a big kind of circle jerk of enemies right, 30 feet away from you, a bunch of Minoris Tyranids. You're going to launch from further away before you ever hit them and then ground the pound. That second jump pack leap will do some damage, but I'm telling you guys, I've used it and it really doesn't do too much. So again, I'm going to take this. Again, for me, a lot of my jump pack leaps are from further away. It's not surrounded by enemies. It is sometimes surrounded by enemies, but I find that didn't really do much damage. The actual area of effect is quite small for this one. And then this is just garbage. I don't even want to talk about it. Again, jump pack dash, go straight to hell. Okay, so that is the perk tree. I'm going to get into the prestige perks right now, okay, guys? All right, so for the prestige perks, now this was a tough one because they're all actually pretty good. So let's get into it, guys. I'm not actually going to reset it, but I do want to show you. I wonder if I hit it, will it actually go? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So these are the perks, okay, guys? These are the perks. A couple good ones, couple trash ones, and I'll go over that right now, okay, guys? So my first prestige perk is Adrenaline Boost. So after a perfectly timed parry, block, or dodge, you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. Okay, so this is a really good one, especially you'll see that I use a fencing weapon, so I parry a lot, I block, parry. So I really benefit from Adrenaline Boost. When I'm getting ready for that gun strike, I don't get hit back, okay? And then right here, guys, health increase by 50%. If you can get a health increase, you take it any day, especially you're going to be deep within the battle, so you really need that health increase. And then for the third one, guys, we have practiced aim, okay? Range damage increased by 50%. Another kind of just blanket overall 15% to your ranged weapon. Again, I'll take that. Superset that with this one right here, 35% increase. That's not bad. And then right here, guys, we got scrambled targeting. If you're surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you take 20% less damage from ranged attacks. So again, as the tank, at least in my opinion, as the tank, you're in there, you're deep within the battle. You need as much health, resistance to damage, as much damage as you can take. So this one is the one I chose for the last one. And then if you look at some other ones, guys, there's really nothing too crazy in terms of the other prestige perks, guys. This one here, Unyielding Oath. When charging a ground pound, you become invulnerable for 3 seconds. That's not bad, actually. Now that I'm looking back, that's not bad. However, very rarely do you have the chance to charge that ground pound, right? So, for me, I didn't take that. And then this duelist here, perfect parry and perfect block windows are increased by 25%. Again, guys, if you're playing absolute and if you're watching this, then you're a legend and you probably don't need this. You're probably good without this 25% increase in block windows. You probably are great at this game, probably better than me. So save this, in my opinion. Save this, and if you need to practice, just play in slightly lower levels, maybe lethal, substantial, and just practice. All right, practice your parrying, practice your blocking. All right, guys. All right, with that being said, that is my prestige perk. That is my full perk tree, guys. If you have any questions, again, please let me know in the comments below. With that being said, let's get into the weapons. All right, guys, so for my melee weapon, I am choosing the Thunder Hammer. Again, for me, this is the most optimal weapon for what you're looking to do, especially for those leaps, for those ground pounds. This is the most optimal weapon. I think it was made perfectly for the assault class, so why is it being stupid here? All right. Again, I chose the Thunderhammer Beta, so the Ophelian Liberation Beta, sorry, so it's the fencing one. The way I play, I need to parry, so fencing is the one I choose. If you want slightly more speed or strength, then you might want to choose this one here, which is going to be overall more strength, speed, and cleaving potential. I've fooled around with this one, and you can definitely notice a difference. However, it's a block. It's a blocking weapon. So for me, it just didn't. I didn't like the way it played. I'm a fencing type of guy. All my weapons need to fence, whether it's the sword, whether it's the hammer, whether it's the chainsword. Doesn't matter. It needs to fence. All right. In terms of my perk tree, guys, I'm just gonna go over this quick. I have Armor Strength. I have Calm Before the Storm. I have Perpetual Strength, Shattered Impact, Seismic Chain. This is a good one, guys. After performing a ground slam, so it's not a ground pound, a ground slam, hold the attack button to perform an additional ground slam. Okay, guys? Very good one here. Perpetual Strength, so a lot of damage increase here, guys. And then Kill Streak. We have Aftershock Improved. We have Minoris Slayer, Majora's Slayer, and Dead End. Okay, guys? So, you can always pause the video, copy this if you want. Max damage in this perk tree, probably the most that you can get. There are a few that I missed here, but you can't have them all. So, for me, this is what really works, especially this Shattering Impact paired with Seismic Chain. All right, guys, in terms of my range weapon, now this is where a lot of people are probably going to roast me in the comments, and it's fine, guys. A lot of people hate the Inferno pistol, and I get it. The magazine size is just trash, and I get it, trust me. But again, the way I play, I very much utilize dodges and rolls and dashes. And the way I play, I like to perform those moves, pop a few shots off, swing my hammer around. If I can do a leap, I'll do a leap. But I'm very mobile. That's the way I play. That's the way I prefer to play. And for me, that's the way. That's the most beneficial way, at least the way I prefer to play. I don't even know what else. I don't even know what I'm saying, but that's how I like to play, okay? Everybody's different. Some people like to spray and pray. Some people like to snipe. Some people like to do what I do, but pop, bolt carbine shots off, or plasma shots. They like to recharge that, really charge that plasma up. And I do too, don't get me wrong. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But because I have another loadout that does have a plasma pistol. But again, the way I play, which I'm going to overlay here in a second, is very much just that. It's you're dashing in, you're dashing out, popping a few shots off, getting around, utilizing your speed, utilizing your movement. Okay, so for that reason, I won't get into it too much, but for that reason, I chose the Inferno pistol, and I chose this one here. It's the Gathalamar Crusade Inferno pistol. Okay. The reason I chose that one is literally for one reason. It's the magazine capacity. So this is 3 and this is 2. However, go to the perk tree and follow me here, okay? Divine Might, increased damage. Motivated melee, I won't go into everything in detail. Great Might, increased damage. Okay, increased range. This one's very important. Okay, guys, take snapshots of this. This is very important if you're using Inferno pistol. I truly believe, in my opinion, I've mastered the Inferno pistol loadout and perk tree, so definitely take a pick. Increased capacity. The maximum ammo reserve of this weapon increases 20%. That's also very important. Adamant restoration. No fear. Okay. This one right here, boys and girls, extra shot. Magazine size increased by an additional cartridge. So now you have 4. Oh, wow. Big deal, right? Trust me, it makes a difference on the battlefield, guys. It makes a difference. That extra 4th shot, I'm telling you, when you pair it with, faster reload, higher damage, increased range, like I just spoke about here, you really see the difference, okay? With that being said, guys, let's get into some of the gameplay on kind of how I play and kind of why I chose certain weapons and perks. Okay, guys? All right, guys, so I just loaded in here. I'm just playing with 2 bots here. I'm playing on substantial, so I can kind of talk things through. I'm going to show you why I didn't choose that that last perk there on the last column, the area of effect perk that causes damage to the surrounding area upon jump pack leap. So basically, this is why right here. I'm going to show you right here, because a lot of times, guys, I'm initiating the jump pack way further back, way further away from the actual enemies. Just like that, guys. Again, then my secondary is near, but the area of effect, I've played around with it. The area of effect is actually quite small. So for me, at least for me, guys, it was not beneficial. And then again, for my second reason why I'm showing you some gameplay, guys, is I'm going to show you the way I play. Okay, so again, I chose the Inferno pistol. A lot of people hate it. However, I actually like it. I'm a melter rifle type of guy. So for me, this was kind of like a little baby brother, right? So hold on a second, guys. I might go silent just to kind of focus. But this is the way I play. I'm very mobile with myself. I like to move around. I personally, maybe I'm just not good at this game, but I can't perform the same way with bolt-style weapons. At least for me personally, guys. I like to get in. I like to get out. I like to cause as much damage as possible. For me, standing back here and shooting is it's just not the way I play. And yeah, anyways, guys, that's basically it for gameplay. I mean, you kind of see how I like to... All right, guys, so that's some of the gameplay there, as you could see. Sorry about that cutoff there right at the end. But basically what I was saying was, as you can kind of see, I like to utilize a lot of the jumps, the rolls, the dodges. So for me, I chose the Inferno pistol. Now, I just want to say one more thing before I let you guys off, is I have a separate loadout. When I'm playing missions or operations, like, for example, Reliquary, where at the end you're going to be facing a enemy or a boss that is far away that the Inferno pistol will not be able to reach. I have a secondary loadout right here with the plasma pistol, okay? And I want to go into that just very briefly. Again, I chose the far right, the Ophelian Liberation Alpha. And in terms of the perk tree, I'll go over this very, very quickly. I chose fast venting, so the weapon cools down 15% faster. Then I chose rampage, divine might, great might, plasma collection, blast radius, retaliation, and last one, guys, divine might. Okay. Again, nothing much to say there. But yeah, so I just wanted to add that in before I let you guys go. My main is the Inferno pistol, and even if you are playing a mission like Reliquary, your teammates will be there to support you. Most of them will have either like a sniper or a bolt pistol or a heavy bolt. So again, guys, like you don't have to, but you want to be a good teammate. So usually I'll switch it towards the end at one of the drop pods where you can kind of change your weapon loadout. So I'll change it around there. But the majority of the mission, again, I will still be using my Inferno pistol. All right, guys, with that being said, that's the assault class, guys. Let me know what you think. A few controversial perks, a few controversial weapon choices. Maybe they're controversial, maybe they're not. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching up to this point. Again, I will be playing Siege Mode. I have not had the chance to play it yet in its full entirety. I will be playing that. And please, please, please look out for that because I've been waiting so long for this damn mode. I'm going to go into detail into all the little purchases you can make within the game, like a dreadnought, like extra damage, so on and so forth. A lot of cool things that I saw. And anyways, guys, appreciate you guys watching. I won't keep you any longer. Have a great day and take care.